How's everybody going? Wow, February 4th, 10 o'clock. Mike, how you doing, dude?
Hi.
All right, let me see where we are at. How's everybody doing? This is Steve Stern and myself over here drawing
Yes,
Zen Bounty Wars.
Sunday night.
What time does the Emmys come on, Steve?
Oh, well, it started here on the West Coast
Right.
at 5 o'clock. It's been on for 2 hours.
It's been on for 2 hours already. Okay.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
I'm so used to watching clips on YouTube later, but
Yeah,
I'm not used to when the show starts or when it ends.
I hear you. I hear you. And we've got weather report is we have a massive rainstorm assaulting us here in Southern California right now.
Yeah, assaulting is actually the right word to describe what you guys are getting right now. It's huge. It's actually it's a big problem. Mike says, Steve.
Mike, how are you, Mike?
I'm glad you're here, dude.
Here, you're going to see some awesome coloring.
Yeah, we're gonna keep on working on things. Yeah. We're gonna.
So just recap what you colored and where you're at. You know what you did last week and where you're at, because it already looks so awesome.
It's turning out really fun. What I've got so far, obviously, I'll only put in like a little bit of atmosphere, and I think I might actually put in some lightning or something. Just something just to make it look cool. I might make some little changes to this purple cloud. It's like the teapods flying in through the clouds, through the atmosphere. So I might actually throw in some clouds like in front of the line art, right over here in the corner. Yeah, I'll make it real big so that way you can see. So Zen's inside the teapot here. We're coming in through the atmosphere, and we just want to color it so it looks really cool. It's a real simple panel, but it sets the stage for what he's about to do. So actually, you know what? Since we're looking at things, let me make sure that the camera can see what I'm doing. Now I've got the camera pointed. Most of the time when we do these, when we're coloring live, it's nice and crisp and clean when you just have it on the screen without my hands in front. But I get a lot of questions from people, and I get questions too, just about like what are the hand gestures, what are the movements, how you're actually, putting pencil to screen.
Yeah.
Pulling up menus. These are the things you don't see. It just magically just starts coming together, and then you don't really see it. You don't really learn anything. So I think what I want to do first is I sort of want to change my mind with having the cloud that's kind of trailing behind the teapot being so purple. I want it to be more cloudy, more gray. So I don't know if I'm going to screw it up. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to duplicate this layer. So that way I still have the old layer. And I'm just going to adjust the color. I bring it up like on the bottom of the screen, I've got like hue, saturation, and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to take my saturation down and turn the brightness up. So that way it looks a little bit more like gray clouds as opposed to going through purple candy colored cotton candy.
It's just it's art, and it's just something that you feel, obviously.
Yeah, you follow your gut. I always joke around with my friends that I listen to the paper gods. I have the paper gods that I listen to.
Wow.
So I'm going to take a quick look to see what maybe some white clouds in front of this might look like. So I'm just going to grab a cloud brush off over here, and I'm going to jump to a layer that is above my line art. So this is the layer where my line art is at. You can see I turn that on and off. So I need a new layer above that, so that way I can get the cloud cover to actually cover on top of it. That's a bit big. Let's see here. Oh, that's a bit small. That way it really looks a little bit more like he's coming through the clouds as opposed to just kind of like cut and paste on top of it. And check that out. Check it out. Just a little bit of work right there, and
Yeah.
just like mysteriously coming through the clouds like that. It's like, this is really cool. And I'll probably do a lot more work to these over here. But you know what? It's what I really wanted to, because you could jump around. Obviously, it's I like to jump around the page to whatever feels like a little bit more exciting to work on. So I want to color Zen, dude. It's like, so
Yeah.
this bottom panel with him kind of like sneaking and kind of peeking over the edge of this this branch or rock or whatever it is right in front of him. Let's do that. So pick a blue that I like over here. Nothing too electric because he's kind of in the shadow, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to make him too bright. And sometimes I like to paint in my flats, and sometimes I like to draw a mask. Like for instance, because sometimes it's much faster to draw, especially if the shape has got some good holding lines. You see me
So are
drawing.
you in the masking process right now?
Yeah. So I turned on. I got a masking tool, and I'm just going to go ahead because he doesn't have too many like costume or armor elements and stuff. So I can make this big block of blue. And it's a little faster for me to draw a mask around his shape. Just stay inside the ink lines. What's kind of nice is that I already know that this is going to be a different color, like the ground that he's, so I don't have to draw the mask accurate around everything. I can just draw the mask kind of loose around this part because I'm going to cover that up later, so it doesn't really matter. So here we go. Come over here and fill that in. So now I got a little spot of blue.
Wow, that's just in other words, once you delineate the outline, then you just hit fill. You could fill it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if he's got a lot of little details and stuff, you could see where that would be like super time consuming. So, because you have to draw a mask around, everything that's blue. Then I got to draw a mask around his eyes because those are going to be green. And if he had a lot of other like things on him, armor, a belt, a strap, a gun, a staff, you're drawing a mask around each one of those little items. But sometimes you just paint them in. It's like I always draw a mask around items and block them in if I think I might adjust them later, if I need to adjust them. That's something that we do with a lot of clients when we're working on things for storyboard, because sometimes you have to make a change later on. It's like, oh, this character is wearing a blue shirt, not a green shirt, something simple like that. And we can go in, and if I masked out that area, and right now, if I wanted Zen to be green or purple, I can make that change immediately because I've got the mask. I've locked it by sliding it right here. This is Procreate, by the way, for people that are watching Procreate on my iPad. I'm going to make a new layer right here. Once I lock the layer, that means, I can only paint inside the color. Everything outside of that color is protected. It's almost like the color is serving the purpose and functioning as a mask. So
Bill, when you in passing mentioned storyboard, you just used the word storyboard. Some people watching now or later might not know that what you're referring to is the company I established back in like 2011, Storyboard Graphic Novels. That's the
exactly. Yep.
Say storyboard, people might be wondering what you were referring.
Oh, that's absolutely right. Yeah. And then, and if you happen to be watching and you're somebody who's interested in doing a studio pitch, or you're putting together a pitch deck, or you just want your script turned into a graphic novel, that's what Storyboard does. You want to contact Steve. Steve is the guy.
Yes, I am. Been doing it for a long time, and you've been working with me in Storyboard ever since the company was started, whatever it was, 13 years ago now. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, look how cool that's become.
Right. So see how I cleaned up around his fingers and all that loose area, I just covered it up with another color anyway. So it wasn't, it saves time, saves so much time to be able to be loose
Yeah.
with some of it, So right now, and I'm putting in these three. I'm gonna separate him from the background, and I want to separate that foreground from him. So that's what I'm doing right now by putting in the flats. That's what the flats are allowing me to do.
Right. So the background of that panel, is that like the sky on this world?
Yeah, it could be the sky. It could, since he's kind of sneaking around and stuff. I could make it. Right now, I'm just going to make it an arbitrary color just to make it different. So that way it's separated from everything else. And then as I go, I could decide and kind of follow my gut as to what it is I really want to do with it. So I'm making a mask for a color that's completely behind him. So I'm just filling it with just an arbitrary color. So now you can see the separation. It's like you got him, you got the background, you got the foreground, and then now you can start making some decisions as to what you want to do with it. It's like what are your thoughts, as you're going along. So like right now, I'm not really sure what I want to do with the background. Do I make it like kind of like a blurred out, sort of implying that there's a bunch of leaves and trees and branches behind him? Or do I make it the sky? Because I can make it that cool sky pattern, listen to the cool clouds and stuff like that. So while I'm deciding that, I already know what I'm going to do with him. So let's work on him first, Yeah. Like I know I've got to get him shaded up and get him all rendered out. So, and I already know that he's blue. So this, I could think about other parts of the picture while this part of it takes shape.
Oh, that's neat.
And that's what happens during the whole process. It's like you handle the things that you can handle. And then while you're figuring that out, you can figure out, get your plan together for the rest of it.
See, this is a part of the process that most people, including myself, hardly ever, if ever, get to see, which makes it so interesting to see how you do this, Bill.
This is why I like the camera to actually look at the screen, even though, like, it's not the clearest picture in the world, but you can see that, like, for some of the color, like, I'm drawing in, I'm not just shading and filling in, just gradients and stuff. I'm drawing in like the wrinkles in his brow, and later on I'll actually like draw in the highlight or draw in, so I like to draw in these hard shapes first, and then I go over here to this tool over here. This is a blender tool, and the blender tool allows you to blend things together, just like it's called, but it allows you to blend it using the properties of like whatever brush you choose. I like just using just a regular airbrush to kind of like blend things together. And I'll show you what that process looks like. Like the end result of that. See how all of a sudden it's like you got this like nice faded.
Yeah.
It looks like I kind of airbrushed it in. It's sort of like oil painting in a way, because it never dries. It's like it's
amazing.
And I wish you could see the colors on screen the way that they actually are on my screen. They're a little bit washed out. I'm using my phone. My webcam cannot capture another screen like hardly at all. It just looks like a blur. So I'm using the camera off of my iPhone, and at least you could see what it is I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
But the colors aren't like one-to-one, So I think the way it looks on your screen is the blue is a lot brighter than it is in actuality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the blue that I actually have on the screen is a little bit more muted, a little bit more not distressed. Distressed is not the right word, but it's definitely more of a muted color. Let's take a look to see what's in the chat room. Pops, how you doing, dude? I'm glad you're here, man. We got a launch party coming up with Pops for Nera X Dark Seas. That's going to be coming up on February 18th. So for anybody, and I'm kind of thinking, it's like we should have a launch party for Zen. You got to tell me, Pops, if we should have a launch party for Zen. You guys want to hang out? That would be awesome. You let me know. You let me know if that actually maybe working. We're going to do it on March? Is it 21st, Steve? March 21st.
Yep. Ken says he's still in Vegas, so can't stay on, but wanted to say hi and support the stream. Thank you, Ken. Hope
Thanks,
you're having
Ken.
fun in Vegas.
Awesome, dude. He's having fun for both of us, man.
Yeah.
Please win us some money, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody's saying hi. Hey guys. Yep.
Now who's Ohim? Ohim? Hey guys, what in nature do you think is Zen's blue? That's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question. Hey,
Jeff,
how you doing?
See, these are people I'm unfamiliar with, but I wanna get familiar with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So what in nature would be similar to Zen blue, Bill? Like in nature?
You know, I could go because of the way his skin is, and because like I'm thinking like sea life. I'm almost thinking like mammal, like a dolphin.
And I think
skin, huh?
Flower.
A flower, yeah. There are definitely some blue flowers that would mimic Zen's blue color.
Oh, man.
And what's interesting about Zen is that he's so far removed from nature because he's actually an artificial creation. He's a one of a kind creation, which is the reason he's trying so hard to find his place in the universe. Part of him feels like he doesn't belong, you know?
Yeah, well, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, that people can identify with that. Exactly. That's one of the things that attracts a lot of our readers to Zen, is that they can identify with some of his struggles. You know, sometimes people feel like they're invisible, and they don't belong anywhere.
Well,
and that's Zen.
I'll tell you another interesting thing about what we call Zen blue. And someone pointed this out to me decades ago. You know, Zen isn't the white guy. Zen isn't the black guy. Zen isn't yellow, or, in other words, he's every man.
He's everybody. That's right.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
He has no specific ethnicity, if you will. So anyone can identify with him.
Anytime you're feeling blue, you could be Zen.
Right.
I'm going to make bumper stickers, dude.
My dad issue of Zen Intergalactic Ninja, when I saw you had a channel, I just had to scroll. So
very cool, dude. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Perhaps I'm not pronouncing your name right, but where are you streaming from? Where are you?
Yeah. Where do you call home right now, my friend? Now, right now, I made a new layer on top of the blue, but behind the brown, because I need his eyes to be green and put some shading on it. See, I especially like this is one of the things about putting in the flats, is when you know you're going to be putting in a lot of shading or rendering on top of that color. You don't want to spend a lot of time like trying to keep that color inside the lines, you know what I mean? So once I drop that green in there, where it's going to go, I lock it in, done. It's like, now no matter what I do, I'm only going to be affecting the green and not the other colors that are around it.
So here's another question I have for Jai or Jay. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing your name, but you said your dad had an issue. I'm curious, have you yourself ever read an issue of Zen, other than perhaps that one that your dad had? Let me know. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We like to get to know everybody.
Exactly.
So I'm just putting in some shading around his eyes.
This pattern is really taking shape now. Wow.
Yeah, I like to put in a lot of try to put in as much little shading into his eyes as I can, you know. and little highlights and stuff. So right now I'm putting in all the deep stuff. And what's cool is that later on, like if there's any lines or like highlights or stuff like that, I could put it into the drawing, or I can actually draw like right on top of the line art itself, you know. So I'm just changing the size of my. That way you can see what I'm doing. I'm over here changing the size of my pen. I'm constantly doing that because sometimes you're working on a large little piece, and sometimes you're trying to get some little tiny detail.
Wow. You know, you give so much texture and like glow to the eyes. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, the eyes are so important.
Yes, they're the window to the soul. Some great.
It's true. That's it. That's it. I'm over here. Look what I'm doing right here. I'm sampling this color. I'm sampling this dark blue because I'm going back to the skin now. I'm going back to the skin layer, and I wanted it to match. So instead of looking for a blue from scratch, I just sample some of the blue that's already on here. And try and put a little bit more shadow under his brow, you know.
Hey, Bill, question for you.
Yeah.
When people make comments, do you have to do something manually to have new comments appear, or do they just
yes. Yeah, I have to do something manually. So I have to make sure. I have to make sure that I'm looking up, and I'm actually clicking on the comments so that the way they pop up on the screen.
Listen to what Ohim said.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Very smart. Yeah, and thank you for saying Zen is really cool. And keep going, Bill. Every so often, I know you're busy colorizing, but unfortunately, you have to multitask because we have.
Oh, hey, no. This is why we're here, dude. Are you kidding? This is
very, very smart. Okay, so Ohim said, I'm a longtime fan. Been trying to fill some holes in my collection, and got super pumped when I saw that Bill was doing this. Very cool. Okay, so let me say this. One way to fill some holes, as it were, in your collection is if you go to First Comics website, which is the number one firstcomics.com. Okay, and they have certain Zen books for sale there. Very, very important one that they have is, let me see if I have it here. I'll pull it out, but it's the Zen Bounty Hunter book that Bill and I did back in the day. That's the one in which Zen grows a face. So that in and of itself is a very important issue, but it's also the book that establishes Zen for what he's been for the past while now, which is a bounty hunter. So that book's available. I rarely see that book on eBay, but of course on eBay there's a ton of Zen product, books and games and stuff. But clearly a good place to go is to firstcomics.com, which Bill put up on the screen. And sometimes people really need a particular issue and they can't find it anywhere. And I'm happy to have them write to me direct. My email, which I'm happy to give out, is SS, like Steve Stern, sszen97 at gmail.com. And sometimes people write to me and they say, I must have a particular issue. And if I can spare it, I'll make sure they can access it. So go to First Comics. And Jaideep says he's got a collection. Excellent. Happy to hear. But we're always happy to help you access any books you might need.
Yeah.
And eBay is a great source too.
Oh, see, you got extra points with me, my friend. You're collecting the hunted series. Yeah, I had so much fun with that.
Bill also wrote. Bill both wrote and illustrated The Hunted. Because Bill's one of the very, very, very few people that I would entrust also writing Zen.
That's something I don't take for granted, my friend. Yeah, check him out. He's chilling out back there.
Oh, that looks great.
I think, let me see here. Maybe I'll just take a little bit of this here and put him in the shadow a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That way it looks like he's sneaking around. He's sneaking around back there.
That looks great, Bill. Obviously, you're going to have to do something with the background, right? Because you wouldn't.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely. And here's the thing: it's like because of how I draw and because of what I'm used to doing. Like I don't have to illustrate exactly like because we have this establishing shot. We have the establishing shot of him coming down to the planet. We have the establishing shot of him stepping out of the teapot, and he sees like the ground, the trees. So I do have a scene already that is showing what the background is, and it even ends on a panel that shows that there's trees and branches and rocks and things. So with this one, since it's more of an emotional panel, it's more of him like you know, you're trying to read his emotions at the time. He's being sneaky, he's going after his bounty. He's got him like in a spot where he could possibly get to him. So he's sort of in between angry, pissed off, but at the same time happy that he's like on his target. You know, so I could do something more artsy with this one. I don't really have to stick with, you know, having to illustrate the actual background. I can do something that's more of just an emotional response background. And so let's try some of that, and then we'll see how it goes. We can always change it.
Yeah, my light's flickering here. I hope it has nothing to do with the storm.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, you guys have to realize Steve's out in LA right now, and there you go. I changed the whole background with a big old airbrush. Yeah, Steve's in LA, and they're having some huge weather right now, and it's a little crazy. So Steve, hopefully you stick with us for the whole thing here.
Yeah, and by the way, we're almost at a half hour already. That's how fast this goes.
That's good. Well, I'll touch up this background. Yeah, I'll touch up the background a little bit, like we were talking about.
Panel completed to the best of your ability, and then you've done it for this week. But it's so cool.
So I got this really jagged brush, and that's what I'm using right now. So I'm gonna use this jagged brush here to kind of like create a little effect. That way you can just kind of like read his emotions a little bit as opposed to me actually. So I went yellow, I went like an orange, and now I'm going to like all these different shades of brown. I keep on making the brown darker and darker for the edges, kind of give it that burnt edge look. Yeah, so that way it's just like you're wondering what he's thinking, and it'll go along with the dialogue as opposed to actually drawing in some forest in the background.
Yeah.
It's much more important to read his emotions right now than it is to see the background. You know what's there.
Yeah. Hey, Bill,
that's cool.
See if there's any other comments. We don't want to overlook anybody.
Yeah. Let's see some comments. I think this panel is good for today. Let's see. Owen says, I do have a question for Steve. I didn't expect him to be here. What can you say about Long Hee, artist of Sojo Zen?
Okay.
Sojo Zen.
Yeah. Okay. Rico him wrote to me, and I had problems writing back for some reason. There was a book called Shoujo Zen, which I worked on with this actress and model named Lan Hee. That was like her stage name, I guess. And
right.
Dan did the artwork, but here's the thing: I haven't had contact with her in decades, and I tried to do like a Google search with her name, and the only thing that would keep coming up when I Googled her name was that very issue of Shoujo Zen that we did with her. I've had no contact with her, so I can't help in terms of finding her, if that's what you're trying to do, or reaching out to her to get an autograph or something. But that's a book, Bill. I don't even know if you're familiar with that book.
I'm not. I'm actually not familiar with a couple Zen books, and that's one of them. So, yeah. It's too bad that you lost contact so long ago. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he does say that the Hunted series is so cool. So, thank you, dude. That's what I live for, man. It's like, if you actually like the stuff that we're putting out. It made me collect the StarQuest series. Yeah, that was a series that I worked on. That was so cool. StarQuest, we actually, Steve was kind enough to let me introduce a lot of my own characters into the StarQuest miniseries. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did that for Entity Comics back in the day, back in the 90s. Thanks for collecting that. Nick, how you doing, dude?
Hey, Nick.
Thanks, dude.
It is.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys could hang out with us today. This has been great. Madness.
Bill, I'll tell you, what you just did in approximately 1/2 hour with that panel is amazing.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody that was watching. Hopefully, if you guys are rewatching afterwards, I know a lot of you might know already, but there is a sign-up website. If you wanted to just let the publisher know that you're interested in the new Kickstarter that's going to be coming up in March, you can go to zenbountyhunter.com.
No.
And if you go to Zen... we were talking about Bounty Hunter. See what happens? Zenbounty.com. I've been corrected. In fact,
there, you'll immediately in like 5 seconds be able to just sign up, and then you're going to get not only updates. There you go. Not only will you get updates, but you will see that by signing up, you entitled yourself to the very exclusive signature card, the two-sided signature card that I will sign the Zen side and Bill will sign the Nera X side. And the only people who will receive the card, so it's kind of rare and exclusive, the only people who are going to receive it once the Kickstarter is done is those who A, signed up before the launch, and B, pledged at any level whatsoever, the various levels. A pledge at any level and signing up now will get you that card.
Hey, by the way, Steve, you're pronouncing his name perfectly. He just wanted to let you know.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Very cool. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, dude? Just popping in for a moment to say hello to everyone shooting the Saturn Awards tonight. Dude, he's a busy photographer. Let me tell you. It's like, I appreciate your work, Kevin. Dude, it's so cool that you can do that. He says, so maybe we'll see a live-action Zen get an award in the near future. I tell you, man.
Would be cool, Kevin. And I'm sure you're doing a great job there.
Kalibak from issue 5 of StarQuest always looked cool to me. You know what? He's actually coming back. I'm actually bringing back a lot of those characters. I'm really glad that you like him. That's awesome. That's really, really cool.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Awesome. Okay. He was saying thanks.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's so cool, dude. It's like we're honored that we can do this and we can actually do this together as a fun, pastime. This is an art form that we all love and we love to produce it. And we're super happy that you guys love to enjoy it. So that's what it's all about, right? So.
Right. And Bill, I have a thought, and then we can conclude with that.
Sounds good. Our concluding thought.
So here's what I'm thinking, Bill.
Steve Stern.
Bill, after you've completely colorized page 1, let's do something very cool and add the text to it, the word balloons and captions, and show people the completed page when we get there. What do you say?
When we get there, we'll figure it out. It's like I can always point the camera at my computer and we can letter that way. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we'll show the whole process, man, from soup to nuts. From nuts to bolts. I'm not really sure how the saying goes.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next week and every Sunday night.
That sounds good. We'll see you guys next week, man. Have a great one.
Thanks, folks.
Release.